Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing our review of NXT Spring Breakin from April 25th, my bad, April 25th, 2023. Got NXT Spring Breakin episode, a little special they do, and this one was fine. It's just fine. I've seen better ones they've done. But yeah, this one was just fine. Nothing really much to it. There was some good stuff on here, which I'll talk about. There was also some other stuff, which was but yeah, let's gonna get right into it. So we open with the first ever trunk match in NXT history as the family, which is Tony D'Angelo and Stax, take on Pretty Deadly, which is Elton Prince and Kit Williams, I think, is the name of them. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's their name. But they're taking on the family in a trunk match. The way you win is by putting both of your opponents into a trunk of a vehicle and closing the lid. So, Pretty Deadly's in control right away. But they end up family's able to get control. Stax hits a cannonball to Elton Prince. Family grab a table, and then this man, Pretty Deadly, got in control and picked the table up and brought it all the way pretty much to gorilla position. Like, they moved that table nowhere near it, so it couldn't be grabbed. That made me laugh very hard. I will give them that. That was very, very funny. So then they have this pool of just like rubber balls. I wish I was joking when I said that, but literally that's what it is. And they toss Pretty Deadly are tossed into the pool of balls, and then Stax does a senton on using some type of board. Does a senton into the pool of balls onto both of them. That was kind of fun. Family then attacks Pretty Deadly with chairs, which was good. Pretty Deadly able to suplex Tony D'Angelo onto a trash can. They end up fighting towards the. So they put Stax into the trunk, close the lid. And then they go to put Tony in, but when they open the thing, Stax has a fire extinguisher. Now, why the fire extinguisher was in a trunk of a vehicle, I have no idea. How no one saw it besides Stax is another question I have. But it wasn't answered. But that happened. Tony then hit Kit with a crowbar, and he fell into the trunk. Perfectly placed, by the way. Perfectly into the trunk. Almost exquisitely perfect. And then they put Prince through a table. The family puts Prince through a table and puts him in a trunk. Close the lid. So Tony D'Angelo and Stax, the family, win, and then they drive off. And literally, I can tell you because I'll tell you how I'll loop this into what ends the show. They murder Pretty Deadly. Because we are cut back. There's a little cut scene in the middle where Pretty Deadly are moving. Well, you can hear Pretty Deadly. They pull over the vehicle. Stax gets out, opens the car thing, and starts punching them. Clearly grinchy because apparently they're driving in the middle of a busy highway, or like a busy street, and no one sees them. So there you go. Then we cut to the end of the show where they're just showing water, and the family's like at the edge of a dock, looking down at the water, saying, "You think it was deep enough?" They're sleeping with the fishes now. So I'm like, oh, okay, so Pretty Deadly have died in kayfabe in NXT. Just straight dead. They're gone. They can never come back. They've died. So they're getting called up in the draft. That's confirmed. Which is fine, but clearly our NXT guys decided to get a little inspiration from Impact Wrestling, decided to murder people. Fair enough. That's kind of fun. We then got our next matchup, which is Andre Chase versus a heel Braun Breaker. And in case you were still wondering if it was heel, you know he's heel because now his singlet thing and his attire is full black for Braun Breaker, which you may know is heel because you ain't heel until you go all black. I said that and then heard myself. With attire, until your attire in your wrestling attire goes black. That's what I meant. I didn't mean. I didn't mean it that way. Okay. Anyways. God damn, I hate myself sometimes. I don't hear myself. But anyway, let's pretend that didn't happen, okay? Next, so we go to Andre Chase versus Braun Breaker. Duke Hudson gives Andre Chase sorry, that line is freaking my brain up. That I can't believe I said that. Duke Hudson gives Andre Chase a pep talk before the match. Gives him just a big pep talk. How he needs to stand up to Braun Breaker and all that. And when the match starts, Andre Chase is right at Braun Breaker. And he ends up taking him down, and he goes to do those stomps to spell Chase U, and he gets a C. And that's it. And Braun's like, nope, you've got enough. You've got enough, kid. I gave you enough. Big clothesline. The military press into the power slam. Steiner recliner. Chase taps out. Braun Breaker wins. Was there ever a doubt? It is the end of Andre Chase. And I think they're going to get called up. And I'm going to be very annoyed. Because my friend loves Chase U, and he wants Chad Gable to be with Chase U, which would break my goddamn heart if I saw Chad Gable with Chase U. I don't want to see it at all. Leave them be. Then we get a brawl between Ilya Dragunov and Dijak, which to me has a stupid beginning and a stupid ending. Because Dragunov literally has taken 2 steps into the building before Dijak's right there with a boot to the face. Like, that one just annoyed me because I was like, that's not logical. Like, was Dijak just sitting there waiting for Dragunov to arrive? I guess. I'm going to assume that's what I'm supposed to believe, because if not, that was really stupid thought process. And then he goes to do he pulls him in position, and he's going to drop a shutter thing on him. On his ribs, his chest area. Except, because of the fact, so he pulls it down once, and Dragunov stops it with his boot. And then he stomps on he kicks his leg to get out of the way. And then he tries to stop it. And Dragunov pushes it up with his arms. Then, barely. And then he stomps on his chest, and then they land on it. But because of that, it doesn't look like it would actually hurt him at all. The way it lands on him, it would more likely hurt, like, I guess the pain would be that it on his chest, I guess. But, like, it doesn't think it would actually cause massive pain to him overall. I get why he couldn't fully just drop the thing on him, right? Like, I get, like, pull the shutter thing right onto him, because obviously it would fuck him up a lot. But, like, yeah, you could have done something. In my mind, you could have done something more. That's all I'm saying. I apologize for my swearing there. I'm trying not to when I do these reviews. Our next match then is Lyra Valkyria. I don't remember how to say her name now. I'm gonna call it Lyra Valkyria, and I'm just gonna call her that. Versus Cora Jade. This match is fine. I can get its point across. It does what it needs to do. I don't know though. Like, it doesn't. This one was one of those matches. There's two matches here where I just didn't have any interest in the storyline at all. So maybe that doesn't help, because if I'm not invested in your big storyline matches, it don't get nowhere with me. So maybe that's the reason. And Lyra, it's a perfect plex, but Cora kicks out, and Lyra, it's a cool kick. But then the finish doesn't help. So Cora grabs her bat. She goes to use it. And she wants to use it, but the ref stops it, grabs it. And they're like doing a tug of war with it for a good minute. And then Lyra goes for a kick and doesn't connect with anyone. She then falls over, gets up, gets hit with a chop block that like grazes her knee. It goes down, and then Cora hits the fucking the dirty deeds. I'm gonna get the double arm DDT to win. It's a fucking shit show. Like, this is not, that wasn't good to me. This match was not good to me. There was more that, I like Cora, and Cora's probably getting called up too. She's probably one of the women getting called up, which is good for Cora. But that's not a good match to end it on. My next match is Grayson Waller versus Carmelo Hayes for the NXT title, and I was baffled that this isn't the main event. I was legitimately shocked that this isn't the main event. Considering the fact what happened at the main event didn't include a title change, I'm actually curious why they didn't do this. Have this been, especially what happened after the match, that would have been way better ended. Hayes hits a nice suplex to Waller from the apron into the ring. It kind of looked kind of cool. Waller on the outside takes out Trick Williams with a chair, which was actually pretty smart. And then when Hayes goes to check on Trick, Waller takes him out a clothesline on the outside. Hayes gets back into the match with a fadeaway and hits a great springboard DDT. Gets great height before coming down into the DDT. Looks really good. But Waller kicks out. We get what I'm going to call a fireman's carry powerbomb. Because he has a fireman's carry and he pulls him in and kind of does a powerbomb move by Waller. And Hayes kicks out of that. Waller then just, casually puts Hayes onto the announce table and does a top rope elbow drop to Hayes through the announce table. But Hayes somehow kicked out. I don't know how. I don't know how. But then it all goes wrong. Because Waller goes to do his stupid finish, and I'm calling it stupid. I've always called it stupid. He rolls into the ring into a stunner thing. You've seen Grayson Waller, you know what it is. And as he goes to do that, he somehow injures his leg. I don't know what happened. I can't give you the information. I don't know. But he somehow injures his leg. This one I think's legit. The main event one I think is also legit, but I don't think it's as serious, is how I'm going to put it. Because Waller can barely get up to get hit with Hayes' finish afterwards, which is nothing but net. Because he goes to roll, but as he gets injured, Hayes hits him with a super kick, which I think was always supposed to happen. It just happened to be he got injured, so it kind of made it look a little wonky. Well, Hayes did nothing but net to win and retain. And after, like, literally once the 3 count hit, Walla's, like, rolling himself to the apron to get, like, checked. So I think he's legitimately injured. I just don't know how much. I just find it funny that finish is what injured him. Like, of all things. Jesus. Afterwards, Hayes grabs the mic, and he wants Braun Breaker at NXT Battleground, which puzzled me. Because when he said that, I was like, so wait, is Breaker not getting called up then? Because you can't call Braun Breaker up, then do this match. Because it's the most predictable match they could do. So I don't know what the thought process is if they do call Breaker up here. Because I would think you would have to, right? Like, he's already done everything. So I don't know why you would do it. Breaker attacks him and Trick from behind. Spear and Trick. But then he spears Carmelo through a part of the set. And I think Carmelo's soul left his body. Like, he got speared into the next dimension. Breaker killed his ass with interest. Like, holy shit. Insane what Breaker was able to do. Freaking sane. That Breaker, since turning heel, had the most deadliest. He has the most deadliest spear. Like, if he's given time to get speed, he will spear your soul out of your body. Jesus Christ. Backstage we have Joe Coffey being confronted by Joe Gacy. So Joe versus Joe is made for next week because Joe challenges Joe Coffey to a Gacy challenges Coffey to a match where if Gacy wins, then the Dyad gets a shot at a fair one-on-one or fair two-on-two, I guess, tag title opportunity. Where if Gallus wins or if Joe Coffey wins, then the Dyad can never challenge for the tag titles as long as Gallus are champs. So this is their way of riding Dyad out of NXT here. Because if you don't know, the Dyad or the Grizzled Young Vets asked for their release and it got denied. And they made it really clear that when their contract runs out in October, they're leaving. Like, they're not re-signing. So, since they made that public, WWE is going to be like, okay, well, you're not being used now. So, we're going to leave you out on the shelf until October, until you get released. Or until your contract runs out. That's what they're going to do. That's what I'm assuming. I'm going to assume Coffey's going to win here. Also, because I think Joe Gacy was one of the ones they were considering for a call-up in the draft. So that will... And I don't think they're going to call the Dyad up if they're not sticking around. Because I'm pretty sure you have to sign a new contract when you go to the main roster, I believe. So, I might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure, at least they have to upgrade your contract or something like that. Let me go to our next match, and I'm sorry. This next match did nothing for me. I didn't care about anything in this storyline. This storyline has... I have never cared for any of the characters in it. They've never done nothing for me. It just doesn't. It's Brooks and Kiana James versus Briggs and Fallon Henley. Mixed tag match. Briggs and sends Brooks to the outside in it. James gets control of Henley. But Henley and Briggs are able to stand tall to go to break. Henley gets a hot tag pretty much as they come back from break. And then they mess up the finish. So here's what the finish is supposed to be. Brooke is supposed to attempt to use Kiana's purse and hit Briggs, but he misses and hits her, right? Kiana James, the smart woman she is completely out of position and is not near enough. So instead, it looks like he misses, and she just, as a result of the purse going flying, dove off the apron for her purse. That's what it looked like. She just takes this jump bump off the apron. Looks really stupid. Briggs then hits a lariat to Brooks to win. And then, Brooks goes to say, to try to apologize to Kiana James. Kiana James goes to slap him. He stops it and goes, "You gonna hit me? I thought you loved me." And she said, "I never loved you," and walked away. Then my result was, this storyline was pointless. What was the point of this? What was the point of this? This was such a waste of television time. This was such a waste of time on NXT. Why did we do this? Just why? I just need to know. Oh, I hated this so much. I actually hated this so freaking much. This isn't my type of storyline. It just isn't, and I don't want anything to do with it, and it can stay gone. Next up, we have the debut of Obafemi, is how you say his name, versus Ola Mensa. Because great name we have great name people in NXT. Obafemi though is a beast. Like he's a jack looking mother effer. He could be their next beast in NXT. That's why this match annoyed me a bit. It's not like anything they did wrong, but why is Ola Mensa was getting offense in? Oba was taking bumps. Why is Oba taking a bump? The man is your next muscle beast. He shouldn't be. This was so weird. This literally is so weird. But Femi is this big pop-up powerbomb thing, looking brutal. Brutal as hell to beat Ola Mensa. Unbelievable. That man has unlimited potential, and if they're done right, he could be used very good in the future. Then we got a main event, which is Indy Hartwell defending her NXT Women's Championship against Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton. They all try to do a pin at the start of the match. When they come back from break, Indy is out of the ring. And that's, like, later on in the match, it makes sense. But, like, this is the thing I noticed. They kept Indy out of the ring a lot during this match, which is very weird to me. Roxanne dives on the both women, and one of the dives, Tiffany Stratton, like, head almost bounces off the table, the announce table, and I was like, eesh. Hopefully she's okay. She was fine. She didn't have to worry about that. Indy gets in the match, then hits 3 clothesline to Roxanne. Tiffany Stratton sends them both to the outside, and Tiffany Stratton does a swanton dive onto both women. Fucking Indy might have injured herself. She lands badly on her leg. Like, it's not a good landing for Indy. On one of her legs. And, like, she's out. They take her back. And Tiffany and Roxanne have to go back. Now, I don't know how big this injury is. Because she does end up coming back. So I guess it's not so bad that, like, she can't. But, like, Tiffany and Roxanne go back and forth because they just are the ones having a match now. And then we get a scary, like, top rope Hurricane Rana because, like, Roxanne almost lands badly and Tiffany lands. It's not that. It's very iffy. But Tiffany's able to kick out. Indy then just returns and just breaks up a pin. In the end, the finish is very sloppy, but I feel like it was very thrown together. Like, Stratton hits a moonsault and then has to perfectly get into position in front while Indy's clearly there, so Indy can pull her out, which looked very awkward. Indy then does like a slow run clothesline because she can't fully get any speed because of her leg, and she walks in and she pins and wins. It isn't a good finish, but I feel like they might get a pass because of Indy's injury. So they might get a pass there for that. If she's actually injured. If it's a storyline injury, then this finish was idea. Because this is a bad... If especially Grayson Wall's actually injured, and actually injured his leg, to then have Indy do a storyline injury leg is not a good thing. And plus then, fucking Sol Ruka... I forgot to mention this. Sol Ruka, apparently, because of the NXT Anonymous Twitter thing, apparently also got beaten up backstage. And I think her leg is injured, like, the injured, and, like, it's... Why are we doing this? I don't get it. It's very weird. It's very weird. All I could say is, like, I don't know what's next for Indy as champ. I'm gonna... No, I can't... I'm gonna assume Tiffany's the one that beats her. I just don't know what the plan is to get there. But yeah, that's how the thing ends, because after that, then we get, the family thing where they have confirmed they have murdered Pretty Deadly, and Pretty Deadly is no longer with us, until the draft. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this review of NXT Spring Breakin' from, again, April 25th, 2023. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all for the next one.